Hey everyone, Dylan and Carrie here for Mecca Fitness, CrossFit Mount Lebanon. This is Friday, May 1st workout. You got some strength work first. Front squat, 5 reps up to an 85 to 95% feel. Very important there at the end there, it's a feel. So if it feels very challenging for the day, awesome. Go for that. It doesn't mean that it's based off of anything. You're just gonna go up to something that feels very heavy for 5 reps, if you have the means. If you don't, take something lighter and work on movement. Maybe that means 3, 4, 5 seconds on the way down, maybe some isolated pauses in the bottom, and then fast on the way up. Give yourself even more reps if you need to. Maybe 8 reps, maybe 10 reps, maybe 12, who knows, something like that. Just working on squatting for about 3 to 4 sets. And then glute bridges with Turkish get-up sit-ups. Maybe you saw these last week, we'll go over them anyway. Then we're gonna go into a workout. If you have a barbell, use that. If you don't, we're gonna explain some options. Overall, you can still do these movements without a barbell. 3 rounds for time, 21 deadlifts, 15 hang power cleans, 9 front squats. After that third round is done, you're gonna rest for 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes, you have a 2-minute time frame for as many thrusters as you can get for additional reps on your score. All right, so taking a look at Carrie for the front squats. Using the barbell as we have here, like I said, if you don't have one, you can use anything else as a weighted object to hold it on the front of you. Initiates with the hip, crease of the hip gets below the top of the knee, stands all the way up. Her entire foot, both feet are engaged on the floor. There's not one heel that's too heavy, there's not one toe that's too heavy or anything like that. She's grabbing the floor as much as she can. Hips go back, nice and controlled, straight on the way up. Okay? Looking for good movement overall, always. Don't worry about how heavy the weight is, worry about how good you're moving. And then after the 3 to 4 sets of that, after you found a heavy front squat, we're gonna go for glute bridges, 10 reps, and you're gonna pause for 2 seconds at the top. So with this, it's super important to actually pause up at the top. And when you're pausing at the top, squeeze your butt, force the knees out. So if you're watching Carrie right here, if you have a weighted object and you want to put something on your hips and hold it there, you can hold it there. Just the back goes on or the upper shoulders go up onto the box or bench or whatever you're holding, and then straight up, making sure that you're squeezing the belly, holding at the top for 2 seconds. So 10 reps there, and you're also going to superset that with Turkish get-up sit-ups. You can use anything with this. Doesn't have to be a kettlebell, doesn't have to be a barbell, doesn't have to be a dumbbell, anything. Even holding a ball in your hand, open hand, is actually pretty hard. But she's going from the floor up to the elbow, from the elbow up to the hand, and then back down to the floor. Right there was 1. We're gonna go for 5 reps on each side. So you can keep that side up and you can just keep going through that. She's looking at the kettlebell or whatever object she's having. That's gonna be very, very needed basically for your balance. So make sure that you don't just look all over the place because the chances of it going out in front of you are a lot higher, okay? So we're working on safety there. Cool. So 5 reps on that. You can superset those last 2 for 4 to 5 sets. Now, going into the workout. So we're gonna show you with a barbell first, and then we'll go into some other options. But deadlifts are first. Back is flat, spine's neutral. She's bracing in her belly, squeezing in her butt, lifting with the shoulders and the hips rising at the same time. It's often that people say you need to make sure that your back is braced. It is true. You also cannot forget about how braced your belly is. If you overextend in the back, you're leaving yourself exposed. So make sure that you're bracing in your belly the entire time. Squeezing the butt, squeezing the hamstrings all the way on the pole on the way up. Standing with the shoulders just behind the bar at the top. Okay, so we're going for 21 of those, and then hang power cleans. You can go either at the hip or the knee. As long as it's a hang, it's fine. Pulling all the way up to the shoulders, catching it, standing all the way. So when she hinges first, she's dipping straight, she's hinging, going from the knee right here. Her shoulders are just in front of the bar, feet are fully engaged, her lats are also engaged, and she goes through the hip first and then extends. That's super important. Instead of just pulling it with your arms, let your legs do the work. They're a lot stronger, okay? From the side, right there, catching it on the shoulders and standing. So we got 15 of those, and then we have front squats, just like we talked about earlier. Elbows high, core's braced, back is neutral, crease of the hip gets below the top of the knee every time. Her feet are fully engaged. That's what we're looking for on these, okay? So she did 3 rounds of that, and then she's gonna rest for 5 minutes. Now for 2 minutes, she's gonna get as many thrusters as she can, which is a front squat into a push press. So notice that she's not pressing from the bottom. She's letting the drive of the squat at the top become a push press, she's using her hips to get that barbell up off her shoulder before she starts pressing, okay? Right there. You can take as many breaks as you need to. You only have 2 minutes to get as much in as you can. If you don't have a barbell, let's just say that you have a dumbbell, and you can use 2 of them if you want to. You can use 1, it doesn't matter. We're just going for a hinge. So she's touching the floor, she's doing deadlifts. Basically, it's just not a barbell. So worrying about the same things that we talked about before. And then with that same dumbbell or kettlebell or whatever you have, even if it's a ball, hang power cleans, going from the hip, extending, catching it up to the shoulders, and then squatting. Holding it at the front, crease of the hip gets below the top of the knee, feet are engaged on the floor, posture is upright, okay? And then after that 5 minutes, she can do the same thing with thrusters. Holding that dumbbell, crease of the hip gets below the top of the knee, stands, uses that hip extension, pressing it over the shoulders. That's what we're looking for, all right? Anything. If you guys got questions on that too, if you have random pieces of equipment and you need to know how, please tag one of us and we will give you some information on how to scale that. But have fun with that one.